Whenever you're fucking ready, my God.
Okay, I'm going to start the song right now.
Jesus Christ. Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go!
This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, whatever, and we listen to all of their records, and then we rank them from worst to best. But before we do that, we get into our fearless beer review, or not our fearless beer review, wrong episode.
Dude,
we get into our 6 Degrees of Tom DeLonge, and that's where we connect the band of the week to our boy Tom DeLonge. While you're listening, go to Apple Podcasts, go to Spotify, especially go to Spotify. Give us 5 stars and 5 stars only on there. All the social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good shit is at Asinine Radio. So follow us there. Talk to us there. We have a Discord server if you want to talk shit and talk with other people who listen to the pod. Let us know. We'll send you the link. And we have a phone number. You can call us, leave us a voicemail, shoot us a text. The phone number is 503-893-5307. Or if you just want to make it a lot easier on yourself, go into the description on this episode and you could leave us a message on there, a voice message, whatever you want to leave us. Just go do that. There's a link in the description if you care to do that. And also, finally, if you didn't already know, my name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. So now that we have that out of the way, let's get into our 6 Degrees of Tom DeLonge, if you did it.
I did.
Okay.
Did you?
I have one.
I have 3.
Jesus Christ. Well, let's start with your first one then.
I was on a roll, dude. This is Metallica week. I did 3, and there's a theme here. Let's see if you can pick up on the theme, huh?
Okay.
Jason Newsted released a solo album called Heavy Metal Music that had this guy Mike Mashak on it, who's a lead guitarist for Stained. Fun.
Oh, gross.
Stained did a song with Fred Durst from their second album, and Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit were featured on a track from this super group called Rich Gangs, which is
Never
like
heard of them.
two rappers. Super group is only two rappers. So dumb. So Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit are featured on a track from a super group Rich Gangs self-titled album called Rich Gangs. The song was called Here We Are, and it also featured Lil Wayne on the same track. Lil Wayne toured with Blink.
Oh, to
Blink
Blink,
the Top.
yeah. There you go. That's a good one. I like that one. So, what's your number 2? And then we'll go with mine and then wrap it up with yours.
Cliff Burton. Cliff Burton was in a band called Trauma that eventually reformed decades later with Greg Christian on bass. Greg Christian played bass for Testament. I think he also was like the founding member of Testament, which also featured at some point in time Dave Lombardo on drums. And Dave did a cover of Stand By Me with Lemmy for a flipped skateboard soundtrack that also featured a song with Jim Lindberg from Pennywise.
Oh my God.
I think the soundtrack itself like featured Jeff Rowley on vocals or something, because on Discogs like he's credited a ton, but it didn't say what he does, so that's weird.
Maybe he has like just like vocal, like not vocal, but just like spoken word stuff, or it's just like interviews.
I would think like maybe it's like background vocals, like gang vocals.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that could be it.
But anyway, Blink toured with Pennywise multiple times in the Tom era. That was easy. And I give you a little bonus here because Fletcher stories aren't in short supply. And I found a cool one. I found a cool one that I've never heard before coming from Mark in recent years. Mark told a story of touring in Australia with Pennywise in the 90s. And apparently Fletcher had brought a BB gun on their tour.
Oh, God.
And then when they were at the hotel, he would constantly like wait till Blink would I mean, this is like when Blink's still not like blowing up. This is before Enema, so they're still not big. They're still they're getting there.
Era.
Yeah, they're getting there, but they're still not massive. And Mark told stories that Fletcher would constantly shoot them with BB guns or with his BB gun. He'd be perched on like the balcony. He'd be hiding in the lobby, and the entire time they were at this hotel, he'd be shooting them with his BB gun. So that was funny. And then Mark also said on their days off, on one of their days off in particular, they're all down at the pool, and Mark said that he was in and out of the pool drinking all day, but Fletcher was there all fucking day drinking. He did not leave the pool. So later that night, when they're all in the jacuzzi and Tom's there, Fletcher looks over and asks Tom, he says, "Hey, I've been drinking all day. Have you ever seen me leave the pool one time?" And then Tom and Mark looked at each other and immediately got out of the pool. So awesome.
I love that. That is fucking awesome.
And Mark was telling the story just like he was giggling and he was smiling. I was like, damn, man. I love it.
Wow, what a cool time to be in a band. Mid-90s, mid to late 90s. God damn, what a...
Not making
that was
a ton of money, touring the world.
Yeah. Because I feel like drugs were kind of past their prime, Like drugs in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, like that was the music scene. But by the mid to late 90s, drugs, that wasn't like the main focus. It was just about having a blast.
I feel like grunge really kind of like killed the drug aspect of rock and roll.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Especially when like Kurt died.
Yeah,
like that was when we
Lane Staley
transitioned
died
out
too.
of heroin and just kind of drank.
I agree. Kurt Cobain, Lane Staley, and then what was the guy's name from Blind Melon? I forgot that guy's name.
Fuck, I don't know.
And then Bradley too. Those are like the big artists of the early mid 90s that died from crazy drug abuse.
And this shows you how much alcohol is not that bad for you, because Fletcher has been drinking more than excessively for decades, and he's still alive.
Fletcher's also over 300 pounds and like 6'7". Yeah. God damn. That's great. Oh, I saw like a little interview that Hulk Hogan did. I watched it last week, and they were talking about Andre the Giant and how much he would actually drink. And I guess one time they were at a bar, and Andre the Giant ended up drinking like 125 beers or something like that.
What the fuck?
In one night. Yeah. Like on average, every night he was drinking like 7 bottles of wine plus like, a 24-pack of beer plus liquor on top of it. But yeah, one night he drank like over 100 beers.
I mean, like when you come out to visit, we each like on that Saturday, we each probably hit like close to 20 to 30 beers in that one day.
Yeah, somewhere in between. Yeah. But that's
like,
over like a
dead, dude. Like
that's like over a 12-hour span though.
Yeah, that's all day. We prepared for that for like a week beforehand, and we're dead for the next 2 days.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy when you think about it.
Fuck.
Oh, that's God. I know.
Yeah, those are my two so far.
Okay. I only have one, like I said. This one's pretty easy, but so we start with Metallica in the year 2005, 2006. Lars Ulrich got really sick. He wasn't able to play it was like Rock am Ring or Leeds or Reading, something like that. So he ended up having to have some fill-in drummers during the Metallica set, like right there on the spot. Like they had to just kind of play off of memory all these drummers. One of them was Dave Lombardo.
Who even cares anyway? Fuck it, I can play his drum parts.
It's Dave Lombardo. I forgot the one guy, and then it was Joey Jordison from Slipknot. Joey Jordison, so he played that show with Metallica, or played like 4 songs with Metallica, and it was actually like very like historical in Metallica lore. So Joey Jordison to Ross Robinson, who produced the first 2 Slipknot records. Ross Robinson to Korn, who produced 3 of the Korn records. Korn had Feldy, our boy Feldy, co-write a song on their album The Nothing from a couple years ago. Feldy to Blink, Blink to Tom. There you go, my 6 degrees of Tom DeLonge. Easy peasy.
All right, and my last one here, Dave Mustaine. Dave Mustaine and the Megadeths. Their last album they just released not that long ago. I think this year or last year. Featured
like
this
2 weeks ago?
dude, Steve D. Giorgio on bass.
Nuts.
Steve D's nuts. And I've never heard of this guy, but you look up his Wikipedia, and he's just worked with a fucking slew of metal artists. But he's not like part of a band. He's just like a studio guy.
He's
but
a session guy,
goddamn,
yeah.
he's been on so many albums. It's impressive. But anyway, he was featured on a Necro, the hardcore rapper, on a Necro album in 2007 called Death Rap. Necro did a song with another one of these hardcore hip hop dudes from the East Coast named Danny Diablo. Danny Diablo is featured on a track from the Transplants' first album, Dream. He's a co-writer.
Oh, wow.
And Travis to Tom.
Travis to Tom. Look at that. Wow.
Did you see the theme there with my picks, my weeklies? Jason Newsted,
No.
Cliff Burton, Dave Mustaine.
Oh, ex-members.
Ex-members of Metallica.
Ex-members of the band, yeah.
I was getting
Wow, okay.
ambitious.
I like that. Was a good theme. That was a really good theme. I like that. Now it would have been hard to go the Rob McGovney because he didn't do shit.
I tried, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this no more.
No,
The Cliff Burton one was kind of hard, too, to be honest. That one was a little tough.
I mean, he died so young.
I know.
Shit.
And I was listening to that band Trauma, and then I listened to Testament's first two albums.
Mm-hmm.
And good thrash. They're both from like the late 80s. Good thrash. Not
Yeah.
bad at all. But, I mean, there's no Kill 'Em All.
Might as well listen to Kill 'Em All, Slayer. Fucking, there's a lot of shit I'd rather listen to Exodus than. I mean, Testament's not bad by any means. It's just better shit out there. And I'm not a huge. I mean, I like thrash, but I'm not that into that genre. But yeah, so that's good. Good stuff. So let's jump into the album rankings. We're like I said, we're gonna do their 10 studio records plus Lulu, the collaboration record, the collaborative record they did with Lou Reed from the Velvet Underground. So that leaves us with 11 in our rankings. We're going to give our biggest banger from each of them, maybe a stinker. I don't know. So let's start with number 11. What do you got? Go.
Load, baby. Their sixth album, 96. And
Wow.
the sixth one I listened to. So I went backwards. I listened to the recent first, then went all the way down to Kill 'Em All. So that's kind of weird. Load is their sixth album from 96.
Yeah.
And it's the sixth one I listened to.
That's kind of weird, yeah.
I mean, technically the seventh because Lulu doesn't really count a little bit. I don't know. Whatever. But I listened to this right after Reload, and I thought Reload was bad. Spoiler, that's my next one. I thought Reload was so fucking bad, and I was just like, "Good God, dude! Like this has to be the worst." And then Load came on, and oh my God, this is so bad. This is awful. This is like sub one stuff. This is the second half of this fucking record is mostly Hatfield drawing out words like and singing like shit. There wasn't any song on this one that I actually enjoyed. Not even any parts. There's some parts in pretty much every album thus far after this that I enjoyed. This was the most bland thing Metallica has ever done, and that's saying something because Metallica has done some really bland shit. And then they throw in this song called Ronnie later on, and it's this terrible attempt at like a blues rock metal jam. And it's like, guys, dude, you're better than this. Skip that track. This was
it's
this
a rough
this
one.
was embarrassing. This was fucking terrible.
Yeah, so you won't be getting the Sun vinyl, I assume. Right.
I would never buy this on vinyls.
All right, my so you have no banger, right?
No.
Okay, good. All right, my number 11 is Lulu, the one that did the album that they did with Lou Reed from the Velvet Underground. You know, I haven't listened to this record in years, and I thought, I'm going to go with an open mind. We've done Velvet Underground since. I like them a little bit more than I ever thought I did, and then I get 2 tracks in, and I almost just shut it off. Because it was just. Talk about a band's worst qualities in one album. Like the worst of the worst from each member, and that's what this album is. From everybody. Even Lou Reed, like I can accept some of the shit that he does. But this is like the worst of Lou Reed, especially the worst of Lars. Like Lars is already not a good drummer, but he really doubled down with him being a shit fucking drummer and threw it on this record. This is so embarrassingly bad. I don't know why. Like this goes to show that there's nobody in the Metallica camp or group or whatever that tells them no. Like everybody is a yes man because this is just pure garbage. Lulu is pure garbage. And there were songs I couldn't even get through. I can't even remember the songs. They were so fucking bad. I didn't even want to remember what songs they were. I would get like a minute into a few of these songs and just skip it to the next one because it was just so horrendous. Like this is truly, truly garbage. Not redeemable by any means. And you obviously don't agree. So what's your number 10? Better be fucking Lulu.
Reload,
Oh, no,
baby.
you said it's Reload. Yeah.
Reload, their fifth album, or their seventh album, the fifth one I listened to. Their seventh or 97. That's weird. This one starts off with the classic, like, give me fuel, give me fire. And that's fucking dope, dude. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. It's iconic. I don't know if, like, everyone else feels the same way, but that's just, I think it sounds so cool. And it sounds cool when he says it. But the rest of that song sucks. The rest of Feel sucks. Nothing delivers on that intensity from just that opening line. It's just
Really? Okay.
It's just not a very good song. And the next track, The Memory Remains, has this like la da da part, and it may be like the worst thing Metallica's ever done. It is so bad. I cannot even fucking
terrible.
believe it. I could not even believe I was listening to Metallica. And I had zero expectations for anything after like their Black album. I had no expectations. And I was still blown away by how fucking bad that was. This album's stupid. It's plain stupid. It's bad Metallica sprinkled with like lazy songwriting. And then we have like Unforgiven Part 2. And then Slither interpolates a blatant ripoff of Enter Sandman riff. And it's just, dude, this album's trash. This album's fucking trash. I hate it. And this is, oh my God. And then there's that really awful like Celtic inspired metal track, Lowman's
I don't
lyric.
remember that song.
Fuck me. And then of course it's over an hour. Good God.
Yeah, it's like an hour and 15 minutes.
Good
Load and reload are
God.
like an hour 15, hour 20.
It's like half a day to listen to these shit records.
I know, it was so tough. Because I was
Honestly,
like you,
shit.
I listened to them backwards. I listened to it from Hardwired to Kill 'Em All, which I'd never done. And yeah, it was it sucked. Parts of it really fucking sucked.
Yeah,
But
I think that like these two back to back were probably the worst of it.
yeah, I agree. I would agree with you on that because it was over 2.5 hours of just trash.
Trash.
Yeah.
Actual trash.
Because at least after Lulu, you get something good, interesting to good. You know what I mean? Or actually, really good. Yeah, because you do. But yeah, so you got Reload as your number 10.
10.
So my number 10 is Load. Load. I have nothing good. I think I'm not even going to really dwell on this. It's terrible. It's boring. Completely forgettable. I thought I was, almost done with the record. I was maybe 25, 30 minutes in. I still had another hour. So that sucked. There were moments where I wanted to skip a lot of the songs, but I was just like, I'm going to power through it. I'm going to just try to distract myself with other things. And this album sucks. So Load. It's my number 10. So what do you got for 9?
Lulu. And
finally, dude.
And really, like, it's only this high because some of the instrumentals are okay. I mean, I'm just splitting hairs here. Some of the instrumentals were okay. The vocals, I mean, when James Hetfield sang, like, that was like, bro, what are you doing? That is embarrassing. But, like, this is essentially a Lou Reed record featuring Metallica. This was marketed as a Lou Reed record just featuring Metallica as his backup band. That would have been, like, a different story. But, yeah, you're right. Lars' drumming is complete shit in here. But some of the instrumentals were fine. I would rather listen to Lulu than Load or Reload any day of the week. And that's essentially why this is higher and what it boils down to.
Because you can at least, like, block out. When you're listening to Load or Reload, you can kind of block it out and just kind of ignore it. But Lulu, it's just so grating to your ears. It's just, ugh. It's so awful. It's just unbelievable that it was ever made.
I rank Road and Reload. I rank both of those sub 1, and I rank Lulu in 1 because I think like everybody should hear this once because it's so fucking dumb. This is so pathetic.
It's awful. It's so
You're right.
awful.
Like nobody tells them no.
Yeah.
Dude, what are
Like
you
even when
doing?
you go into Lulu with the lowest of low expectations, you're still blown away at how bad it is.
It's fucking trash.
Like nobody can prepare you for it. Nobody can prepare you for Lulu.
It
It's
doesn't
just
match. Like nothing matches in this.
Yeah.
It's a disaster. The vocals don't match the instrumentals at all.
It's truly something remarkable that they were able to pull it off this bad.
And Metallica really is a band that did 4 albums, and I think that's it. They're a band that created, or I don't even say created, popularized a specific sound, perfected said sound, and then rode the coattails for their next 50 years.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. 4 amazing albums in 6 years. And then trash for the next 30. Wait, we're not. I wouldn't say trash. I'm sorry.
Not trash.
There's some great stuff after Injustice. There's some great stuff, but overall, the next 30 years has been almost all trash.
I'd rather have that first 6 than the next 30.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're totally right. You're totally right. All right, so my number 9 is Reload. And honestly, it's only this high because of the song Fuel. I love that song. I've always loved that song. I love it more than just that beginning part that you talked about. I think the riff is really catchy. I just think everything about the song is super catchy. Even Lars's drums are really good on this one. Well, not technically, but from a songwriting standpoint, they're really good. They're really catchy. I think this is an absolute banger of a song. It's a great way to start the record. It's a killer song. Fuel is a great, great song. And that's my banger off of Reload.
Up until like recently, I think the last time we did Metallica, I'd always thought he said, give me fuel, give me fire, give me double genocide. That's why I've always sang that since I was a kid. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double genocide.
It doesn't even sound anything like what he actually says.
But if you read the lyrics, like it's so fucking hard to mash up all those words into that quick little part that he does.
No, it's not.
Give me that which I desire. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. It sounds weird.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Let's do it right now. Do it. Do it.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
No, do it like he does it.
I'm not going to try to sing it like
do with some anger.
James Hetfield. I'm not an angry person.
You wait till
you haven't pissed me off enough
episode.
yet.
Yeah, you wait.
Yeah, you haven't pissed me off enough to
just
get me to that
wait.
point. All right, so what do you got? What do you got for? Well, okay, everything I have to say about Reload, you've already brought up. So I'm not going to dwell on that. Let's move on.
It's garbage.
So what do you got for number 8?
Hardwired to Self-Destruct, their most recent album, their 10th album. It's the first thing I listened to.
Stupid.
It's so like everything after like Lulu, right? Everything after my rankings here, I enjoyed. Mm-hmm. I dug it. It's just I don't know. Hardwired. It sounded like it sounded like a solid Metallica cover band who started to write their own music. And then I get it. This is the product of that. It's derivative, and like Hatfield just sounded like despondent, uninterested, just meh, just going through the motions here. Solos were meh. The music was bland, and again, here we are, fucking over an hour long. So like, what? Come on, man. Like this is. I expected this to be better than it was, and it wasn't bad. I didn't skip any tracks, but I didn't think anything on here was really, really good.
Okay, I understand what you mean, but I don't agree with it being as low as it is. Because there's one album that should be lower than this. And
babe, I'm back on the bandwagon with this.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're fucking stupid. Oh, you're the worst. You are the worst if you're being serious. Dude, I can't even defend. Okay. All right, you know what? You're stupid.
No, I'm gonna.
So do you have anything else on Do you have a banger on Hardwired?
No.
Okay.
But I wouldn't have any stinkers either.
So I think if you had listened to this record, not in the order that you did, like, because this is the first thing you listened to, so you were expecting more. But had you listened to this record after Lulu, Load, and Reload, then you would realize, and Saint Anger, you would have thought, oh my God, this record's so much better than what you're saying now. So you're stupid. My number 8 is Saint Anger, dude. This is
you little bitch,
dude. When I texted you, what was it, like on Friday night or Thursday night? I texted you, dude. Metallica puts out some absolute garbage music. This is what I was listening to when I texted you that, because I have not listened to Saint Anger in years. And yeah, dude, this record is just absolute horseshit. So first of all, obviously the drums. Everybody bitches about the drums, which is true. It's fucking awful. It's like he's hitting an empty keg every time he hits that snare drum. It's like he took out a snare drum and put an empty keg there. That's what it fucking sounds like. That's how tinny and reverbed out it is. It just sounds so terrible. On top of that, the guitars are turned down so low in the mix. They have no crunch. They're just so bitch. Honestly, the guitar sounds like they just sound so bitch. It's like they're running through like a little, like a fucking like little line 6 practice amp. It just sounds like complete garbage. The bass is almost, you can't even hear that shit. And the vocals are turned up so fucking loud. They're turned up almost as loud as Lars's drums. And James isn't a great singer. He's never been a great singer, but he's good. He's entertaining. He's fun. He can be aggressive at times. He just sounds terrible on this. It just seems so phoned in. The lyrics on top of it are some of the worst things I've ever heard from any band or artist ever.
Tick, 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 tock.
Yes. Your death style. Oh, no. My lifestyle determines my death style.
My lifestyle determines my death
Dude,
style.
it's not even just that. There's just so many examples of just absolutely horrendous lyrics. The songs aren't always bad, but it's just the overall tone and production of this record is just horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. And another example of where is the person here that's going to tell you no? Like, no, this is bad. Like, why is there nobody in this Metallica camp that's trying to tell them this is awful? This is terrible. Don't put this out. Dude, this is just fucking garbage. This is a garbage fucking record. Okay. Saint Anger is terrible. I have no banger. But man, dude, every aspect of this is just at best mediocre. And that's really saying something right there. So that's my number 8 is Saint Anger. And I went in with an open mind. I really went in with an open mind on this. But it's shit. So what do you got for number 7?
Metallica's Metallica, the Black Album,
the 5th album, 91.
Dude, this album's not that great. It's really not.
I agree, it's not. I agree, it's not.
It's not great at all. Oh, you're saying what the fuck because Saint Anger's so high?
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. This album is just not that great. I did re-listen to our copy today because when we bought it, it was like dirt cheap, and it does sound like really good.
$10.
Like it's a good dynamic sounding record, but this is for sure a Purge Pile record when I need this bass. This is dumb, bland 90s like hard rock, but it's really like pop rock. It's hard pop rock. It's boring. I was extremely disappointed in this listen through. The only song on here that I like kinda is Nothing Else Matters.
Oh,
and
God, that
it's
sounds terrible.
It's only because Hatfield's vocals in the during the verses are cool. They're like very low, subtle, like aggro. Oh, the solo's kind of cool too, I guess. Short and sweet.
That chorus is so cheesy though.
But I like
Never
the way
care for what they do.
I like the way he says
fucking
matters.
dumb.
Nothing else matters. I thought that was so funny. I liked it. But yeah, overall, I think this album is garbage. Dude. I think this album is pathetic. I think this album is worse than Hardwired to Self-Destruct, but I was more disappointed in Hardwired. And I mean, like, Enter Sandman is like arguably their fucking worst fucking song. And it's just so bad. It's so
it's not their
cheesy.
worst. It's just not
it's so
good
pathetic.
Song.
It's so dumb. But like it's fun to jam on. Like when we jam Friday nights, it's cool to throw down like Enter Sandman because like, everybody knows it. And you can kind of make it your own. So because of that template, I feel like I have to like put it above Hardwired because there was nothing on Hardwired that really like stuck with me after I was done listening.
Okay, all right.
But I was really disappointed in the Black Album. That album was just not fucking good at all.
You're unbelievable, man. I don't understand what goes through that stupid brain of yours.
Oh, just you wait.
Oy. Oh, dude, you probably put Saint Anger above Death Magnetic. You probably put it above Injustice because you're a fucking cuck. You idiot. You're a fucking idiot. My number 7, the Black Album. The self-titled record, Metallica's Metallica, is number 7. I don't think like I agree with you. This record is not that great. It has a couple good songs. I think one of their greatest guitar solos. I know you don't agree with me.
It's just not that good. I'm telling you.
I think the solo in Enter Sandman, I think it's a fucking amazing solo. It's short and sweet. I think it's just, I've always loved that solo. His use of the wah pedal in that song, and that solo is fucking awesome. I don't really care for the song at all, the rest of the song, but that solo gets me every fucking time. I love it. If I had to pick a banger, it'd be Holier Than Thou because it's the most thrash sounding song on the record, even though it's really not very thrashy. But it's a little bit more exciting than everything else. But overall, this is a hard rock record, pop rock at moments, like you said. I think The Unforgiven is just a terrible song. truly terrible song. Nothing Else Matters. I hate that song too.
Nothing else but home.
Yeah, I don't like this record, and I'm glad I got it. You and I got it both for $10. It was $10 on Amazon like a year ago. It was like a price glitch or some shit like that.
Yeah, no, it was.
And honestly, sonically, like you said, sonically, this record, the one that we have, the pressing that we have, sounds fucking awesome. It sounds great. Like Bob Rock did such an amazing job producing this record in that sense. But otherwise, the performances I feel are just so lackluster and just so bland and so radio rock, which is fine. I mean, if that's the way they wanted to go. Obviously, they want to become more famous. They want more money and all that stuff, which I understand. But the music is really lacking because of that. And the jump from And Justice for All to the Black Album is just so dramatic and so jarring. It's like they're a completely different fucking band.
It's
insane?
Like Space
What?
Needed. Is this a purge record for you?
I'm going to keep it because it's not a terrible listen through, and I feel like when you play this loud, it punches and it hits really loud. So that's the only reason why I'm going to keep it, because I paid so little for it.
Fuck, will you ever sit down and think, I want to listen to Metallica, flip through your records, perfect, and then pull this out?
But, okay, so what I've been doing the last month, which I've talked about on the podcast before,
That's gross.
I've been kind of revisiting records I've only listened to once or twice, and I've really kind of been enjoying revisiting these kind of forgotten records in my collection, and I feel like this is going to be one of those albums when I eventually get around to it. Maybe I will purge it. I don't know. I can't say at this point, but right now, I'm fine. I'm good keeping it. So, there you go.
Okay.
It's really not that great of a record, but
It's bad.
it
bad record.
It hits real hard, but it hits so hard when you're listening to this loud.
I know,
like
but
the-
now we're getting deeper into the vinyl, the hobby.
Yeah, I know.
We're buying like good sounding copies of records that are even stupider than this, at $1 a piece or whatever it is, or better copies of other great records. So we're getting deeper in this. We don't need a record that sounds great but is also a bad record.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. Have you purged this yet? Is it in your purge pile?
No, I don't purge until I need the space, and then when I need the space, I do a massive purge. But this is for sure on the chopping block.
I guess if I really run out of space, then I'll eventually purge it. But at this point, I'm keeping it. I have no future plans of or like recent or near future plans of purging it.
My collection sits at about, if everything's full, at about 1,200. And like when I die,
That's way more than me.
but like space is limited. At some point,
Yeah.
you will expand. So I think 1,200. I mean, just because my space, this is what I want. When I die, I want someone to go through my records and be like, okay, this is a glimpse into what he was like as a person. And when they're flipping through Metallica records, and they go through one, Kill 'Em All, Lightning, Puppets, Justice for All. Oh, he liked the Black Album too. Oh, that's weird. That's embarrassing. I don't want that.
So that means you really liked Injustice for All that you buy it on vinyl? Because I know you don't have it yet. Okay,
I don't have it yet.
Good. All right, so what do you got for number 6?
6 is Death Magnetic. This is the last album that I'm not passionate about. Everything else after this, I'm passionate about.
Why are you so disappointing? Why are you so disappointing? I don't understand you.
Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda.
So
So
I say that shit to people all the time, and not one single person has got it.
because
gotten my joke.
they're all fucking, there's sticks up their buttholes.
Oh,
They
dude,
don't
that
know
Listen
anything.
Linda, man, that is just so.
The
It's
kid's,
so
the
fucking
kid's
funny.
God. That kid is God. Give him
Listen,
whatever
Linda.
he wants. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Yeah, Death Magnetic.
So rude.
Their 9th album, 2008. This is the second thing I listened to, or I guess third thing, because Lulu, whatever.
Yeah.
But this is so much better than Hardwired. This is exponentially better than Hardwired. This is classic Metallica. Like, this is rolling breakdown parts, great solos. Like, Hatfield's got some energy behind him. Like, my favorite parts.
Hatfield?
Yeah, Hatfield, like Juliana Hatfield, like the Hatfields and McCoys.
What are you doing?
No, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I heard that too when I said the Hatfields.
This is like the third time you've said it, and I haven't called you out on it until right now.
Remember the Hatfield? Did you ever watch that show, Hatfield and McCoys? That Kevin
No.
Costner, fucking dope ass show. That was a good show. Yeah, sorry. Juliana Hatfield. Do you know who Juliana Hatfield is?
Yeah, she did the stuff with Weezer.
Yeah, well, Mikey Walsh, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. But yeah, this is he sounded like he was involved. There was energy behind it. I thought this album was great. It was solid. Obviously, it's not as good as the things they did in their early career, but this was a good throwback. My favorite parts of this were the instrumental parts to it. I thought this was damn good.
Yeah.
But like I wouldn't buy it on the vinyls just because I can get this better in their early albums. But that's not a knock to this. Like this was a good return to form. Respect.
You're such an idiot. You're such an idiot for ranking Saint Anger so high. Okay, my that's probably your favorite song too. Is Frantic.
Oh my god, I love that song.
No, you don't. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
I think this is a long con by you right now.
All right.
All right, my number 6 is Hardwired to Self-Destruct, their latest record, and this is almost like these are almost like the B-sides from Death Magnetic. They decided to not go with Rick Rubin again on this one, and they went with actually the guy who engineered that record, and they brought him on as producer. And I think there are some low points on this record, but there are also some really high points. I think Spit Out the Bone, which is the final song on this record, I feel like that is just up there with it's such a great Metallica song. Spit Out the Bone is. It has a great guitar solo, and there aren't a lot of great guitar solos, and that was a lot of criticism about this record, was that Kirk Hammett had kind of phoned it in on the solos, and that was more of a Lars and James kind of thing in every sense of the word, which most of their albums are, but especially with this one. And I don't know. I still really like this one. Some of it might be due to nostalgia, but there's some killer fucking songs. The title track, Hardwired, the opener of the record, the first single from the record, that's a great song too. And I do understand it's kind of I do see what you mean when you say that they're like it's a Metallica cover band doing their own songs. I could definitely see that, but the songs are still strong, and they're still way better than a lot of or all the shit they put out in the 90s and Saint Anger and Lulu, because that's just silly boy talk. And I do have this on vinyl. I don't give a fuck. I had this on a nice pink variant. It looks great. I love it. So I have no complaints. I got it for fairly cheap too. Right when we started collecting, I got this record. I found it at Glass House for like $23, $22, something, on a double LP pink.
Got ripped off. I'll tell you that much right now. I don't hear nothing about it.
Well, those are words. So yeah, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, solid record. And this is where I would start getting the vinyls, because I have all the vinyls from here on out, because I fucking love this. I love this band. I love Metallica. I don't give a fuck.
Damn,
we'll talk about it on the main episode. So Hardwired to Self-Destruct, number 6. What do you got for number 5? Go.
I was thinking if I should like throw you like a fake one or like do my real one.
That's not fun.
Saint Anger. Saint Anger is my number 5.
Fucking cuck.
Yeah. So okay. So hear me out.
Talk to me on this one.
Here's a hot take. Okay. This comes out 2003. This comes out 2003, and like really soak it in before you rebuttal, because I think there's something to it. I really do. This comes out 2003. Slipknot already dropped an album, and I was thinking, as I'm listening to this, I was thinking in my mind, I was like, damn, dude, like some of this shit is clearly inspired by like that Slipknot album. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if no one's even said it. And I was like researching it, and I was like Reddit threads, no one said it. But if Slipknot had done these songs, this album would be fucking killer. There are some amazing things on like there's an amazing template to this album that was just trash, because there was a horrible execution. But there's a ton of really amazing stuff here. There's a lot of drop-ins that are very reminiscent of like that Slipknot role, but then also like Metallica has their own role too. But now we're like blending the two, like the metal genres here. We're kind of passing of the guard type of thing. The passing of the torch here. I like the guitar tones. I like it because, I don't know, we're so used to hearing the same fucking over and fucking over. My God, Jesus Christ. Hatfield and McCoy's over here fighting. And then James's vocals are pretty shit, yeah. And his lyrics are fucking dumb. But like this reminded me of that whole like tick 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 thing. And like most of his vocals I thought were just like, okay, I did not write anything for this because this is the worst part in our career as a band. I'm just gonna sing like our boy Freddie when he jammed with us and we expected him to sing to a riff that
Why
we
would
wrote.
you even bring that up?
But like that's what this sounded like. This sounded like a guy that didn't write any lyrics down and was just kind of like making it up on the spot. So I think there was a ton of potential in this album. I just think that they should have shelved this for like 5 years and then come back to it when they were ready. I think they pushed it out way too soon and they were nowhere near ready. But goddamn, all I could think about was if Slipknot had done this record, this would have been fucking amazing. This would have been unreal. And yeah, Frantic. It's fucking great. It's a cool song. I love it. I like that tick, 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 tock shit. It's fucking goofy. It's fun. It probably wasn't meant to be goofy and fun, but it's the most fun that Metallica's ever had. And I love it. I like this album. I don't know if I'm quite there to buy on the vinyls because I've flipped twice on this album now. It went from like one of my faves to like my least favorite. Now it's back to one of my faves.
The worst.
So I don't think, and I know I can buy it like tomorrow. So I don't know if I'm quite there on buying the vinyls, but I really did enjoy this but I think it's only because I thought like, damn dude, if a better band than you did this album, it would be one of the greatest of all time.
So like I said, in regards to Saint Anger, it's the execution and definitely the production and all that.
And the snare tone,
so
I love
bad.
that shit. It sounds like he's
Dude,
banging on a trash can, drumming on a streetlight. I love that.
Which is,
it sounded
it
great.
can be fine. Like I like the high pitched snares, the piccolo snares. I love that shit. I'm a sucker for that shit. But this is just too much, too extreme.
This was
like you can push it too far, and he pushed it way too fucking far on this record.
This reminded. I mean, it did. All this album is bad. Yes, I get it. Okay, but there's stuff there that is great. That was it was a missed opportunity. But his snare sound reminded me of like ska kids, like third wave ska kids. You drop that chain, and now you have that hollow snare, and there's no rattle. But this one just it toned it down, and it sounded like crap. But
it's
still there.
You know what? Maybe it sounds like. It sounds like they took the chain off the bottom of the snare, but then they put like a cymbal there instead of the chain, and that's why you get that fucking ring, that metallic ring. Like, is that how they fucking did it? Yeah, it's a really long ring to the point where you can't even tell. There are songs where you can't even tell where he's hitting the snare drum because all you hear is the ring. The ring overpowers the actual hit of the drum, and it's remarkable how bad it is. And why anybody thought this was acceptable? Why nobody said, you got to stop. You need to fucking stop. This is just straight up bad, dude.
I think you look at their discography as a whole. I mean, I would hope our top four is probably at least similar.
Well, it's gotta be.
And those are like untouchable. Like really, they just are. And this almost goddamn like almost the same album over and over and over. But it's just like they're great. Everything else after that, like there's a lot of they do. God, it's bad, man. They do a lot of bad stuff.
They do
like very very bad stuff.
And
Saint Anger was just kind of like a sigh of relief. It was just kind of like okay.
There are some good thrash moments. There are really some good thrash moments on here, but once again, it was very poorly executed. There's some cool fast moments, good fast drumming and everything, but the production and the mix, it's just the performance. It's just fucking awful, dude.
I guess it's not entirely fair too, because I am listening to this, imagining it being better, with either somebody else doing it, or just them taking more time perfecting it. So as
any other fucking band doing this, you would never accept it. Like you're just trying to be cool. That's what it is right now.
Dude, honestly,
trying to be different.
Like did you not think at all that this was inspired or it was taking pages out of Slipknot's first album?
I mean, I understand it because they were very much in that whole new metal kind of thing. Like they did the Summer Sanitarium tour in '99, which was all new metal. They were very much embedded in the new metal style. So it makes perfect sense that they would take influences from Slipknot, Korn, Limp Bizkit. Even Primus was doing it at the time. I mean, the album Antipop from Primus has a shit ton of new metal and a lot of stuff from this era of music. So it's it's not unthinkable that they're going to take from it. It's just the progression of music. But
This was specifically Slipknot's first, and then not Iowa, because there's no like aggression in Saint Anger at all. So like this is strictly like Slipknot's first album, and I heard so much Slipknot in this album.
maybe a tiny bit if you're really looking for it.
Just saying.
Otherwise,
Cosmoseism's all I can do.
I guess
That's all I gotta say about that. Is what it is.
There we go.
Linsanity.
Words. All right, my number. What are we on? That was your five. Okay, my 5. We're almost done here. We'll get through these last 5 really fast, I'm sure.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Death Magnetic. Their record from 2008. This is their throwback to 80s Metallica. This is what Metallica fans had wanted for decades. Every fan, every art, famous musician, everybody praised this record because it was such a great throwback to that, and it didn't sound dated. This record does not sound dated at all. The only thing that people have ever complained about, which I kind of see, is Rick Rubin's use of, or how he kind of mic'd the drums and just certain tones that he got, which a lot of people don't like about Rick Rubin. But whatever, it's his style. The songs are still there. The songs are fucking awesome. The solos are there. That's another thing with Saint Anger, not a single guitar solo. So maybe that's why you like it.
Why do we need fucking guitars? Like, good God.
Because when you have a 7-minute,
anyway.
because when you have a 7-minute song, you got to have something to break it up. At least a guitar lead. There's no fucking guitar leads on any of those Saint Anger songs. But Death Magnetic, there's just some great build-ups in these songs that these songs are just really well-crafted songs. They really, really are. This is a great fucking record. When this came out, fuck, man. The first song I heard was, what is the single off of Hardwired? Not Hardwired, but off the slow one. Tomorrow Never Knows.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
No, it's not. Fuck, I can't even think of the name of the song.
The sun will come out. I'll just keep going
Whatever.
on.
It doesn't matter. Death Magnetic, I think this is a solid fucking metal record. Not as thrashy, obviously, as the 80s stuff, but it's such a great homage to that, and just this cool kind of like thank you to the fans for sticking around through all the bullshit albums that they put out in the last 20 years prior. So yeah, Death Magnetic, and when I saw Metallica for the first time, it was on this Death Magnetic tour, and I thought, dude, that was just so fucking rad. It was such a great set, a great fucking set that I saw. So, yeah, Death Magnetic, I love this record. So yeah, there you go. I got it on vinyl, of course. Got it on vinyl. Double LP. So fucking good. So friggin' good.
So friggin' good.
So that's my number 5. What do you got for number 4?
Yeah.
Let's get into the good stuff.
So friggin' good. Yeah. So number 4, and that's Injustice for All. That's my number 4.
Okay.
Album of the week.
So this one actually really surprised me. My number 4 is Ride the Lightning. I was shocked that it dropped like this. I've always really, really loved this record. Outside of some of like the tones on it, because I think the tones are really kind of cheap, especially Lars's tones on this one. But I don't know. I have nothing bad to say about Ride the Lightning. This right from the beginning, Fight Fire with Fire. It's that acoustic guitar, but then it immediately drops into just pure thrash metal, and it just you're constantly getting hit in the face by all these riffs and drums, and then all of a sudden the song abruptly ends, and you just hear this like atomic bomb going off in the background. It's fucking great. And then you drop into Ride the Lightning with that guitar lick. There's really something special about this song. And I know the band hates the song Escape because it's like very pop rock, and they didn't want to make that song. They pretty much only recorded that song because the label really wanted them to make like a single, and they did, and they've hated that song. They've only played it like once or twice ever because they hate it so much. And I think that's a fucking amazing song. As cheesy as it is, it's still a solid fucking song, dude. This Ride the Lightning, truly something special. As a sophomore effort, coming off of Ride the Lightning, it sounds nothing like Kill 'Em All. It sounds nothing like Kill 'Em All. it's something special. And this is also the first time that they actually made like a slower song with Fade to Black, which is really cool. And also For Whom the Bell Tolls, which is a very chuggy, dark song, which they hadn't done up to that point, which was really, really rad. Ride the Lightning is truly a special album, and it's only dropped this low because we're doing Injustice for All this week, and I listen to that record a lot. So, yeah.
Okay.
Ride the Lightning,
Okay.
my number 4. Oh, and my bangers, Trapped Under Ice and Ride the Lightning, the title track. Those two songs are perfection. Absolute perfection. So, what do you got for number 3?
Whoop. Ride Lightning.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, Ride Lightning is my number 3. But like honestly, my top 3, my favorite is pretty much like I'm now set on that probably forever. But my 2 and 3, they could be interchangeable. And Injustice for All is a solid 4. Like that will never not be 4. I don't think.
That's what I thought too.
I think that'll always be 4. Ride Lightning. There's some. This is not as good of a thrash album as Kill 'Em All, and this is not as good of a heavy metal album as Master of Puppets. This is something on its own. This is something unique. This is a bridge between the two greatest albums of said genres. Like this is unbelievable. This is crazy that they can be at some of their most aggressive here. Some of the like the guitar parts in this are some of the most aggressive things you've ever done. But there's also songs like Escape that are reminiscent of like hair metal shit that they're trying to destroy, but do it better than any hair metal band has ever done. It's unbelievable. Like either way, it's a killer album with some incredibly badass tracks. I think it's fucking bizarre. I think it's bizarre that it's maybe it's weird. It's taken me so long to accept like metal music because I've always just associated 80s metal with like Iron Maiden, Bruce Dickinson vocals, and therefore passed over like we're jailers, passed over a lot of other the good stuff. I don't know, but
like this and Slayer and other shit.
I mean, Slayer is great for sure. Like best Slayer is Rain and Blood is probably like the greatest thrash metal song of all time for sure. Yeah. God damn, dude! Like Metallica, these first 3 albums are just like they're unfucking beatable. They're unbeatable.
You're right.
Unfucking beatable. The 92 Yankees, unbeatable. For Whom the Bell Tolls is my favorite song. It's
really,
it's a beyond banger, dude. And I think I think a lot of this also stems from like jam nights and For Whom the Bell Tolls is something that we've been trying to get down. And I think that there's a lot of cool parts to it. There's a lot of cool riff parts to it. And the bass line is solid. I think that dun 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 that whole thing is really cool.
So good.
But then like there's a lead guitar part that little like high part thing. I think that's really fucking cool. And the intro itself, that ding 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 ding, like that's really cool. A lot of good riffs. I think the sound of this one is just. I think it sounds great. I don't know. I like this album a lot.
I get it. I totally understand. It's something. I think it's one of their most unique sounding records they ever put out. Because like. It just sounds like this. Ride the Lightning sounds like such a full sounding record. Like it's not, the guitars don't sound amazing, but they sound very loud and they're overpowering. Just everything just sounds like it's pouring in over you when you're listening to it. Like it's, I don't know. It's like a wall of fucking sound. That's what Ride the Lightning is. Like there's just always something going on.
A good utility player, like in baseball, like a good utility player, not going to hit the most home runs, not going to steal the most bases, but he's really good at everything. And that's what Ride the Lightning is. It gets really good at everything.
Yeah, I get it. I agree with you 100% on this. All right, so what do you have? Oh, so my number 3 is Injustice for All. So that's the album of the week. So let's move on to your number 2. What do you got for number 2?
My number 2 is Master of Puppets, and this was almost my number 3. Like it was so fucking close. Like I went back and forth, and this one like got me into Metallica when we did this episode. And I was like, holy shit, I cannot believe this is that fucking good. And Master of Puppets. I mean, I really can't sing like the praises enough for this album. It's, I don't know. My Gateway's still fairly recent. It's a damn near perfect album in every way. It's a little bloated in some parts, but it's few and far between. and I'm still blown away by some of these songs. This has like the aggression of Kill 'Em All, right? The speed of Lightning, and it's just more complex songwriting. Everybody progressed to be better, to be more, to be like slower, but more. I don't know, more. I'm trying to find a word. More wise in their approach to songwriting, and I really do enjoy every song on here thoroughly. And you look at the track list and you think, okay, which song could I get rid of? And there's no fucking way you can't get rid of any of these songs.
Agreed.
And so I think this is unreal. I think this is a fantastic album. The only reason why I was thinking about putting it below Ride the Lightning is just because there's some pop stuffs to this, like some of the melodies, but like I don't know. That's just splitting hairs at this point. I will say though, there's a 1986 Elektra version of this album that is supposed to be like the best sounding copy out there, according to everybody that collects these on the vinyls. And the way you can actually tell is the inner label has a typo. Instead of produced, the word produce is spelled wrong. So if you ever come across one of those that's spelled produce, like instead of produce like you normally spell it, PROD and like CUED, it's spelled all fucked up. And that's how you can tell. And I guess it's because there's no mention of any kind of like direct metal mastering or DMM for this pressing, which I don't know why people are gravitating towards that. But my God, you look at Discogs and any forums, and people sing that 1986 praise, or people sing the praises of that 1986 pressing to no end. It's supposed to be like the best of all. So I added it to my Discogs, and I'm gonna buy it at one point.
Is it the one I have? I wonder. Because remember, I do have an Elektra pressing of Puppets.
I don't know. I mean, like, I guess it was just this one thing that it was, because every other copy of this has a mention of the DMM part on in some capacity on the album or the jacket or whatever it is. So I don't know why it's this specific pressing, but the cheapest one is in like G plus condition. And it's like $50. And like Master of Puppets, like right, like this album we see just better songwriting for everybody. And now we have songs like Orion. We have songs like Damage Incorporated. Like these are better songwriting from these guys. Even like the opening Battery, we're getting these weird fucking like acoustic kind of like classical intros that we'll also see in Injustice for All. We're getting better songwriting from these guys, but not losing any of the aggression.
Yeah, the intensity is still all there. It's
That's fucking
awesome.
nuts.
Yeah,
and like that's the thing when I look at this, and I look at the track list. I think, okay, usually like the last song is either a banger or something I can get rid of and I don't care about. But like Damage Incorporated, dude, Damage Incorporated is such a cool song. It's so fucking rad. It's such a banger.
Damage Incorporated, go, and then it goes super fucking.
God, the way he even just fucking like whispers it, he's breaking us down, just to shred us to pieces.
Yeah. What a great fucking song. Oh my God, Damage Incorporated is so good. It's honestly, I think Damage Incorporated is their thrashiest, fastest song they've ever put out. But then, like you said, you go to Orion, and that is just this like beautiful instrumental, and it's just a beautifully Master of Puppets is my 2B, and it's a beautifully crafted album, front to back. Yeah, of course, it doesn't have that it's not all thrash like Kill 'Em All is, but it just has some great melodies and just great songs, honestly. I mean, look at Master of Puppets is over 8 minutes long, but think of like just how that song grows and builds and drops down and builds itself back up again. And the two solos in it, I mean, the two guitar solos in that song are so wildly different from one another, but they're just so perfectly placed and perfectly crafted guitar solos. It's remarkable. This album, I mean, Master of Puppets, and then the song Disposable Heroes, which that's my banger off of it. What's your banger off of Puppets?
I would probably say like Orion is my new one, because I feel like that's Burton at his best. That is Burton finally getting through to the band and saying, hey, we can still write better complex songs that are incredibly pleasing to the ears, that are incredibly complex, because we heard it in like their first, and we'll talk about Kill 'Em All, but like now we're writing a good song and not just kind of like noodling and showing off.
Yeah.
Now we're writing a good song as a team. and then that's what they'll transition into with for just and for Justice for All. But yeah, dude, Orion, I don't know. Orion's my new favorite banger from Master of Puppets. It used to be Battery.
I like it. All right. I don't know. I mean, we talked about Master of Puppets, this record, in length on the actual episode from probably 2 years ago. This is like, I think Master of Puppets was like maybe the third or fourth episode we did in the new format. So go and check that out because it was a lot of fun. You really changed your mind about a lot of things. I know that for sure.
It did. That was the beginning of like this, essentially like the metal phase that I'm still currently in.
Yeah, there you go. Which we'll get more into on the main episode. So we're not going to dive too deep into that. So obviously our number ones are Kill 'Em All, their debut record. What do you got on this one?
This is one of those albums that like, even as I'm going backwards and I'm going from like Justice for All, and then I'm hitting Master of Puppets and it's blowing my mind. And then I'm hitting Ride the Lightning, like, holy fuck, this is like just as good in a different way. And then Kill 'Em All hits. And this was like, I didn't even think any other way that this would not be my number one. This hit me so hard. This hit me so aggressively. And this hit me just in the right spot to where I thought, damn, this is the greatest thrash metal album that has ever been. There's nothing better than this. I will still say that Rain and Blood is probably the greatest thrash song of all time, but this is the best thrash metal album of all fucking time. This is unbelievable. From beginning to end, this is a band that is bringing the heat, that is having a good time doing it, and that is not afraid to kind of like write stupid, shitty riffs and then just base a lot of overdone chugging around it. Like my biggest banger is Seek and Destroy. Like I fucking love that song. God damn, I fucking love that song so much. I listened to that song today 3 times. Just today.
Yeah, that song it's a fucking great song.
And it's 7 minutes of the same fucking thing. It's unbelievable.
That's all it is. That's most of the song.
God damn, I love that song so much.
That's
but
it.
This is an
So
album
easy.
where they have like Cliff, right? And Cliff is just a fucking phenomenal bass player. But like nobody cares. Nobody cares because bass players in general, like who really cares, right? Nobody gives a shit. So they give him his own song. They give him his own song. And because nobody believes that he is this good, they do like a bootleg kind of single track version of it. And they open up the song with this is take 1. That way nobody, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is him playing it in one take. And that Anesthesia song, holy shit, dude. Like it is so fucking good. It is like the equivalent of Eruption on the bass. Like
it totally is.
It is
Especially
melodic.
When Lars
somewhere.
comes in,
Oh
when
my
that
God.
first drum hits, and then Cliff really goes for it. He fucking
it's so fucking
absolutely
good.
rips it up.
It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
I know. And he did it all with his fingers. You know, what's the guy from Maiden? What's the guy? Steve Harris.
Yeah.
It's like Steve Harris, but not as show offy. Like it's more as like a songwriter, like fucking Eddie Van Halen. Yeah, he could fucking shred like a madman, but the guy also had great melody. He knew how to write a great song. Cliff Burton's the same way. Steve Harris, great bass player, but he fucking shreds and he does all this crazy shit. Cliff Burton was something. He was something special. He was something unique. And that bass solo
and again,
is really
you can hear the progression for this band from Kill 'Em All to Master of Puppets.
Oh yeah.
From Anesthesia to Orion, you can hear, hey, let's do an instrumental song where there's nothing else except for us just playing music. And he's like the only person that like understood musical theory and like understood how to play his instrument.
True.
You throw Lars out because he's fucking worthless as far as playing his instrument is concerned. But like this is a band that progressed, and like man, dude, I cannot believe, I can't imagine how great Injustice for All could have been if Cliff had a humongous hand in writing that album.
Yeah.
Like that could be their best, because there's a lot of parts to that album that are just unbelievably great, and some of their coolest shit they've ever done. But like we'll get into it later. There's a lot of stuff that's pretty dumb, pretty bad.
Well, I wouldn't say bad, but
Pretty bad.
different.
PB.
So
PB.
yeah, Kill 'Em All. I agree with so much of what you said. I think this is the greatest thrash record of all time. Yes, of course, it's not as fast as the Slayer shit and other bands of the era and Exodus and all that shit, but it doesn't need to be fast. You got to have a little bit of melody. You got to have some sort of creativity. It can't just be an open E note, an open E the entire fucking song, Like there's a lot of dynamic to the actual songwriting on this record, even though it's so much more stripped down than the following 3 records. There's still a lot going on here, a lot of cool things going on here. And just the tone of this record, none of their records sound this kind of stripped down and raw that like this one does. And it's just so pure. It just sounds like a club band. Like it doesn't sound like a band that's playing arenas. It sounds like a band that is playing at the Whiskey, that's playing at the Viper Room and the Roxy and shit like that. They don't sound like a fucking Wembley band or a forum playing at the Forum. They sound like young guys, and I love the purity and the almost innocence of this. Naive. How do you say
naivete?
Like naive, but naivety, yeah, like that. That's what this record really embodies, and I love it for it. I absolutely love this record. I mean, my favorite Metallica song is "Hit the Lights." The opener on this one, just the heaviness of just just everybody just hitting all the strings on their guitars, and Lars just hitting as many cymbals as he possibly can, and then he just breaks into that super fast riff, that fast thrash riff. And then the guitar solo is over 2 minutes long. Like, it's like he doesn't fucking stop, dude. And every part of the solo, like, it's not just, he's shredding, but there's still melody within all that shredding, that 2 minutes of shredding. There's a lot of really cool moments in that. I think it's just a fucking amazing song.
And that's like a perfect example of like what you were saying and what we were talking about. It's how this is a band of guys that just really enjoyed playing aggressive music, right? Because in that song, he says like something about like we're here to rock and we're never gonna stop. Yeah. Right? Like that's fucking cool, dude. Like it's so childish. It's so teenage. But to back it up with like some of the greatest things of all time is just it's unreal. Seriously. It's unreal.
The song is a pure shred fest, but in all the best ways. It never gets tiresome. Ever.
Never gets wanky and it never gets boring.
Nope. Never. God,
right in that fucking sweet spot constantly.
Yep. Oh my God, dude, this album. And I agree with you on the bass solo, the Anesthesia, and Metal Militia is also I feel like that's a super great deep cut. The closer on this one, I mean that is a great thrash song right there. And Seek and Destroy. I mean, Seek and Destroy is obviously it is the slowest song, but that chugs along so nice, so fucking nice. And those riffs are so catchy. Jump in the Fire, another very, very catchy riff that chugs along super well too, a lot like Seek and Destroy. It's this album is it's something else, man.
It's like Metal Militia, right? The clothing brand or the
clothing brand.
I don't know, whatever the fuck it is, the
like
motorcycle dirt bike thing. Yeah, like they had to have got their name from the Metallica song.
Oh yeah, had to have been. Because
that was some like local Orange County.
I think it was SoCal.
Racist white kid thing, right?
I think so. Racist white kid. Yep, probably.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all I got for Kill 'Em All and for my rankings. You got anything else?
Damn, that's it.
All right, well, thank you all for listening. Go listen to the main episode because we are getting into the Metallica's 4th record and Justice for All. So, yeah, give us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and that's it. That's all.
Middle